This is the Bullet Belt, a resisted sprint training tool initially designed for coach James Henry at the University of Michigan. The Bullet Belt has one main feature that sets it apart from other resisted sprint training tools, and that is the possibility for a breakaway to occur, if the coach or assistant deems it appropriate. While there are similar tools like the Skills Acceleration Trainer or the X-plosive Speed Trainer that can also cause a breakaway, the Bullet Belt system makes use of a Velcro strip that makes it so you can get a quick or slow breakaway to occur depending on how far back you connect the Velcro. Besides using this as a regular resisted sprint training tool, there are two ways to make effective use of the breakaway capabilities the Bullet Belt provides. Number one is the pop method. This is the method we ourselves use the most. As the name suggests, the purpose here is to pop away from the resistance the belt is giving, like for instance in a block start. The way you do this is by, as a starter, fastening 2 inches or 5 cm of Velcro to the belt. With the belt attached and the assistant standing behind the blocks, you can now perform a regular start, except the athlete will now have to aggressively push the blocks so he or she can break free from the resistance of the Bullet Belt. In the beginning you might notice a loss in form and control of the movement, but after a while the athlete will have adjusted to the feeling of exploding forward. If you're at this point where the athlete no longer loses his or her form and where they can aggressively break free from the belt, you can choose to increase the resistance again to challenge the athlete to deliver more force and power. The second way to use the breakaway feature is via the rip method. This method will overload one single point or a series of points within a movement. To accomplish this, you'll need to fasten the full 18-inch or 45 cm Velcro. If you want a more fluid rip away from the resistance, you can place the big handle on the ground while maintaining grip on the smaller handle. Now you ask the athlete to start explosively and peel him or herself away from the resistance. If you want a quicker, more explosive transition into the unresisted run, without it being the pop method, start the same way, with the big handle on the ground and the smaller handle firmly in the assistant's hands. Now ask the athlete to start aggressively and at the same time let the assistant or coach pull the small handle like a lawnmower. This way you'll get a quicker release that still has a longer overload than the before mentioned pop method. With the how do you use this part out of the way, it's time to talk about how it holds up with some positives and negatives. First of all, this is, compared to other resisted sprint training tools, relatively cheap. $130 or 155 euros. That's around the price of a sled and half the price of an Exer Genie and way cheaper than a Runrocket or a 1080 Sprint. So a relatively low barrier of entry. It is also easy to carry around and it doesn't take much space. The option to have a breakaway from the resistance is the main selling feature in our opinion, and it's also the main reason why we use it. Now the downside is that you'll always need a second person, coach or assistant, to hold the handles and time the breakaway. Even though you can kind of choose a certain resistance by fastening the Velcro near the end or in the beginning of the strip, if you don't want a breakaway to occur, it's up to the coach to determine how much resistance he or she will give, and it's very difficult to maintain the same even over a short distance. So as a pure resisted sprint training tool, this might not be ideal, but if you need a tool that lets you go from resisted to unresisted sprinting in an instant, this is a very good option to consider. If you want to know how we would rank the Bullet Belt compared to other resisted sprint training tools, check out the video on the top right.